everyone. Welcome to episode 1 of Beacons podcast. It's Kat.
And Bryan.
That was great. Should I start over?
No, let's roll with it.
All right.
Oh, whatever you want to do.
Oh, was I supposed to go next?
No,
Oh,
it was
shit,
just supposed
okay.
to be him.
This is all staying in, right?
This is great. Anyways, we're the hosts of this show.
Yeah, this is a pilot
This
episode,
is a pilot
obviously.
episode. We hope to kind of just kick it with some cool creatives and talk life. We have with us today the one, the only Stanford student, product intern by day, half of Seoulfly, Korean American music duo by night, Jay Lee.
Woo!
What's up, dude?
What's up?
Cool shades.
Thanks, man. The cats,
You look
but
like a Korean pop star.
that was the intention. I am one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, who are you? You want to
Great
introduce
question.
yourself?
I'm Jonathon, originally from Chicago. I am going into my final year at Stanford, and I'm a PM at Beacons. But I also make music under the stage name Seoulfly, though I've never been to Korea. But it's
Poser.
me and my buddy from home, and we make kind of like pop, R&B, rap music. You should check it out, Seoulfly, Seoulfly, on all platforms. Maybe coming to a show near you. Who knows?
Incredible.
Did you say you're a product manager here?
Product manager. Yeah.
Okay.
What did you think?
The intern?
Oh, product manager intern. Did I not say that?
No, but it's cool.
I'm a product manager intern.
Wow.
guys.
Say it again. One time. Go through. Just kidding.
Last day here too, right?
Last day.
Yeah, pulling the podcast off right before you leave.
It was a good summer. Did you ask a question? I have no idea.
No,
okay.
no, I have no idea what we're doing here. It's a pilot episode. But should we get into the origin story?
Yeah. How did you know you were like a creative human?
Oh,
And like when did you decide, yo, I'm gonna be creative for life, for a career, or try
this
to
is
be?
actually kind of this is gonna be a slightly like long-winded story.
love it.
But I'll give like the step by step. So when I grew up listening to like a good amount of like hip hop for a little bit. My parents
What
were,
is
like,
growing
very-
up hip hop for you?
So so like to start, my parents were like very, very religious. So it started off with like a lot of like mostly like Christian hip hop, like Lecrae,
Yeah.
Tadashi, like those kind of guys.
Sick.
But then like when I went to so the public school system in Chicago is as such where like a lot of like the top magnet like 7th and 8th junior high programs, they're attached to high school, so you can take like high school classes. So I ended up going to a high school, or just going to the 7th and 8th grade that was attached to a high school that was in like a slightly rougher area. So I got like, there I was listening to like a lot more like kind of, I stopped listening to Christian hip hop basically. And so I remember listening to a lot of like Eminem and Lil Wayne on the bus, and I was like, yo, these guys are sick. But like, I was like on the chess team, I had glasses, you know what I mean? Like, it just like, it wasn't really, I didn't really fit that mold, but I did love the music. And
What was the first non-Christian song that got you to cross over
Got
to the
you
dark
hooked.
side? To the pagan
Oh.
lifestyle?
I think it might have been like either like Lose Yourself by Eminem or like
Mom
some,
Spaghetti.
or some
Yeah.
like Jason Derulo song.
Jason Derulo.
He's obviously not like a
Derulo?
rapper,
No.
but like I mean no, because I was still having to like save up to like buy songs on iTunes. This is like pre-Spotify and everything. So you just listen to the same songs like over and over again.
Yeah.
It was fun, but anyway, so I get to the 7th and 8th grade, and the cafeterias are actually like so heinous. Like there's like fights all the time. And like you're just like this, like you're like not even like a freshman, you're like a 7th and 8th grader. Like you are literally the bottom of the food chain in like every way imaginable. And so I remember like they would also do like rap battles in the cafeteria. And so I was like, okay, like, like I can do this.
Mom Spaghetti.
Yeah, exactly. And I definitely looked like a fool, but that's kind of how I got started. Like I just did little rap battles, like the big kids wouldn't really like mess with me.
How big were you?
I was probably like, I don't know. I was definitely smaller than I am right now.
How tall are you right now?
I'm like 6'1".
Okay.
So probably like good 5'7", 5'8".
Okay.
You know,
All right.
wear my Timbs 5'9". Who knows? But that's kind of like, so that's like the first segment is like I started doing like rap battles, you know, watching like 8 Mile and stuff, and I was actually like getting like decent at it. Obviously, you'd hear a lot of like Asian jokes and like, oh, like this dude has small eyes, whatever, it's fine. But like, you just kind of like, I think like one, it was a good way to like grow up, like get thicker skin, but also it was fun and like taught me how to think on the fly. And then my rap battle career ended in 8th grade when this like super quiet kid like pulls up with like a rolly backpack and just like flames me for like 20 minutes straight, and like that was the end of it. But it was like it was a great introduction to like I guess rapping and making music in that way. And then when I got to high school, I still hadn't really like released music or made music. Maybe like the most of it was like doing it for school projects. But this is getting really long. But I'd say
Wait,
like
sorry.
junior high.
Let me interrupt you.
Yeah.
Okay, so your rap paddle career is over.
Yeah.
Are you still involved in the creative process? Are you like writing little poems in your
Should I
notebook?
put these glasses back on? I don't know. Does it make me look like more of an artist or like more of a poser? What do you think, Ivan?
If you embody it, you are it.
Okay. Let's do
Yeah.
it.
You can't be asking Ivan how you look like when you put it on.
Oh, that's
but
true. That's true.
You
Whatever.
have to own it.
Yeah. Continue.
Anyways, so not really like
Okay.
because I also switched schools. I went to like a high school, and I think like the most exposure I had to like making music then was like school projects, stuff like that. Like I think we had like a health class, and I made a song about like not doing drugs and stuff, like things like that. And then, oh, okay. This is like the last in between story, and then I'll get to like how it actually started. But basically, so I went to one of those like summer camps at Duke. It's one of those camps where like your parents think it's gonna get you into college.
Got it.
And you don't actually like really like learn anything. But it was a lot of fun. Like I loved like my campers, like my counselors. But it was like in the middle of the summer, at Duke, and like a lot of the facilities were shut down, and we were like young, so they didn't really let us do anything. But one of the counselors, he like happened to like produce music on the side. Like he was a saxophonist, or he played saxophone, but like then he was like producing music on the side. And so we were like, yo, we should just like make a song. So it was me, like 3 guys, one guy who like formerly auditioned for like a K-pop group, and we like made these songs which are like trash, but they were so fun at the time. And we put it on SoundCloud. I was like blowing up like my Instagram story, like, yo, like stream JLee773 on SoundCloud, like all this stuff. And it was really, really fun. So that was the
Still
first
exist?
time it does,
Hell
unfortunately.
yeah, let's look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think one of the songs is called like Running Around, and the hook is literally just
Writing
like
this down.
running around like over and over again for like 12 times. But that was like, it was still really fun. I think like that's what made me fall in love with like the creation process. And then
Running the streets?
no.
All right. There's like 14 JLees on SoundCloud.
Yeah. But that was like my first time doing it, and then I think when like Seoulfly itself happened was, so I went on a like church retreat that basically all like the Midwest Korean kids in like suburbs of Chicago would go to, and it was attached to like a church. I ended up going with like a different church than my own home church, but there was this one dude with babe shorts, and I was like, dude, I love your shorts. And I was also wearing babe shorts. He was like, dude, I love your shorts too. And then we just became boys. And I was hanging out with like their youth group and stuff, and like it was fun. It was a good time. We just like became like friends like really, really quickly. And then one of the friends in the youth group, his name is like AP for Andrew Park, but he's like he like only wears wife beaters. It's like a crazy kid. He like got kicked out of his or not got he didn't get kicked out. He was banned from all of his high school's sporting events because he like incited a riot at a basketball game.
Cool.
So it was one of those meme like "Free My Boy" songs. So we made a song. It was called like #FreeAP, and like my friend like who's in the suburbs was like that with the babe shorts was like yo, like everyone like pre-save like April 7th #FreeAP. It's gonna change the internet, and like people around like his high school were actually getting excited about it. So we were like, we actually have to record this. So we recorded it at like my friend's like basement home studio. It was really fun. And then we had like some more time. So before I had to go home. So I was like, okay, let's just like mess around. So I wrote this hook. It's like the first hook I ever wrote. And then I was like, okay, we're going to come back and finish it tomorrow. But then the next morning, like my mom was like, oh, like take out the trash. And I was like, nah, bro, I'll do it later. And then she grounded me. So I called my friend and I was like, hey, I can't come to like the stew today. It was like just a basement. I need you, like, you want to just go finish the song. But he didn't want to finish it without me. So he went and just recorded a brand new song and he sent it to me. And it was actually like really catchy. It was like on a Polo G type beat, but it wasn't like a Polo G hook at all. It's called Waste of Time. It's the first song we ever dropped. And so we go back, we finish it. Like the mix is horrible, but it was actually like really fun. And then it's at like 130K on Spotify, like nothing, like just dropped it, like let it ride. Horrible mix. If the producer that mixes is watching this, I'm so sorry. And then, yeah, that was basically Seoulfly. He was like, yo, like, do you want to just keep doing this together? I was like, sure. I think our original name was like Area 58, which is just like so bad. Like,
Why 58?
I don't even remember.
Okay.
Like, it was like the worst name imaginable.
You couldn't have gone with 53 or 54 or
I think
55
like
or
8.
56?
Oh, because there's 8 letters in my name.
Okay.
Right?
That is pretty bad.
I'm like counting it right now. But it was I think, and then his name is not even like 5 letters. Like,
Yeah.
Thomas is 5 letters,
Yeah.
right? No, it's 6 letters. Honestly, I have no idea. I don't even know why we did that.
Yeah.
It made no sense. But wait, actually, you know what I think it is? Hold on. I'm like, I think it's like whatever. It doesn't even matter. I think like
Yeah.
a 5 on like the iPhone keyboard or something. But anyways, and so
Incredible.
we were just like, okay, we'll just do this. I remember like freshman year at Stanford, I was like getting up on like my desk in my dorm room and like performing for my friends. It was fun.
Hold on. Let's rewind back to this. What was the free AP song?
It was like a
Sample.
like a Free My Boy AP.
Okay.
He's
But-
a slammer, but it was just he couldn't go to basketball games.
Right. So
Dramatic.
you made a song that already had an audience, right? Like, how did it blow up, right? Like you put it out. Like, were you able to sort of see like the lineage of how it went to 130 or whatever?
Oh no, Free AP didn't go to 130.
Okay.
Waste of Time went to 130, which
Okay.
we recorded only because we were recording Free AP. I think Free AP is at like 11 or 15K.
Got it. Okay.
But, which was still like for us at the time, that was like, oh shit, like, or, I mean, yeah, that's a lot of streams. And that was basically just, I think, like word of mouth, like around his high school was pretty big.
Would you say it was okay? So Free AP was the first song. What was
Yeah.
and then the second song was called what now?
Waste of Time. Free AP wasn't released under like the name Seoulfly though.
Gotcha. So there's no connection between Free AP
No,
and the
Free AP
next song.
is just like what started like
It just
our
got you
official
making
journey.
music.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. And then so your first quote unquote big hit was, sorry, what was it called again?
Waste of Time.
Waste of Time. All right. So you record the song, you put it out on SoundCloud,
No, we put it everywhere.
you put it everywhere. Do you feel like you were able to sort of see the progress of how it got to where it was, or is it just numbers on a screen? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
does it like hit first in a certain high school and maybe expand out a little bit? Was it a particular niche of people in a high school? Like,
Yeah.
where did it start to how to get to where it was? Or is it something like it just kind of like happened like magic for you? Like, from your perspective,
I think
How to
that
get to
song,
where it was.
I think we got pretty lucky, honestly. Like the cover art's pretty bad. I mean, I think it's catchy,
then why did it?
like,
Okay, because it's catchy.
yeah, I think it's objectively like catchy, but it's definitely not like our best song at all. I just think I don't know, the Spotify algorithm's weird. Like it started really picking up speed like a few months after we released it. So to be honest, I wish I knew. If I knew, I would just
Okay.
replicate that for like all of the songs.
Yeah.
But
Just the algorithm gods just came down and blessed you.
yeah,
And you don't
like,
necessarily know how the
maybe
gods
like
work.
playlist. I know like at least like the biggest thing like pre-release that we look for now is like pre-saves. So pre-saves are like
Yeah,
very
yeah.
important. Pre-saves are good. Like if it's getting like a lot of like videos made on the sound on TikTok.
But
like,
that's not
like,
this song.
that's not this song. This song was just like pure luck. Like we have songs that we've released after the fact that have like less streams than that song. So it really is like a luck thing. But I also feel like that
You have
one of
no theories on like a couple months later, like it's blowing up. What? There's no theories on what happened at that time besides just algorithm god touching luck. Like
yeah, I mean, I think people were just going back to listen to it, adding it to their playlists, and then like they start Spotify pushes out like release radar, discover.
why would they add it at that point versus when it first came out?
Maybe like their friends show them the song. Yeah.
Okay, so you have no idea.
I honestly don't know. Like, I wish I could say, like, oh yeah, like we dominated like all of Chicago, but like that's just not the case. It was like a lot of luck.
Okay, but do you get Spotify artist insights, right? Do you know of when it first started blowing up? Was it still sort of regional? Was it Illinois? Where were the listens coming from?
There's a lot of actually like smaller Asian countries, which I've realized is like, especially if you're an Asian artist,
Yeah.
independent Asian artist, you should really, really try to like somehow connect with those people. It's obviously easier said than done, but like, you know, like Indonesia,
Yeah.
like
Philippines.
like they actually like, also like ads are really cheap there.
Yeah.
But like they're like super loyal fan bases.
Yeah.
Even like Singapore and like places like that. So,
No,
but I honestly I wanted to give like a super educational answer, but for that song I actually have no idea.
so your music career, in some ways, can be attributed to Indonesian youth.
Yeah, shout out Indonesia if you're watching
Indonesia.
this. I love you.
No, it's not. Yeah, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
That's the thing actually with Asian music. Like like Indonesia has is like the only like one of the only few developed countries that have like that don't have a demographic problem, right? Like they have more youth than they have old people. And there is actually like an arts and culture scene. I mean, like, you know, Rich Brian, all this, like, you know, Nicki, whatever, like that. To me, like that, the demographics of that is part of why all this whole like Asian American music thing is happening right now, right? And so that kind of touched you a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're part of that wave a little bit, even though you didn't know it,
And not at the
or maybe you
time,
did.
no.
I don't know.
Me and Rich Brian are basically the same.
But yeah, exactly. That's exactly. Yeah, that's your
That's the takeaway.
trajectory. That's the takeaway. All right, sorry. What? How does the rest of the origin story go?
I mean, that's pretty much it. Then from there, we just started releasing music. I think like when my COVID happened for me, my freshman year of college, so we went home and we were like, okay, well, I actually have nothing to do. So we were just making bangers on like a $50 Yeti microphone.
Yeah.
We met like a really, really
Hold on, self-proclaimed bangers, or were they
self-proclaimed
objectively bangers?
I think they're
Okay.
bangers.
Okay, like what? What?
I crossed my mind. That was released during COVID. It's
When
like
did
our
you
top
make
song.
"Working in My Boots"?
Working my birds.
Berks, my Berks.
Oh, I actually don't know.
Okay.
I think we made that pre-COVID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that song
Brian's
sucks,
favorite.
guys. Don't listen to that one.
That's
It's my
Brian's favorite.
it's my guilty pleasure. I didn't tell you this.
No, I like that song. It's just like it's like definitely like more of a humorous one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think if you stayed in Chicago versus coming out here, like, do you think you would have hit that like Chicago community a little bit more? Do you think it's better that you're out here in California where there's a lot more of the same demographic? Like, what are your
Indonesian
thoughts
youth.
of that?
There's more Indonesian youth in California.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the ideal scenario would be if me and the other guy in Soulfly, if we made music, if we were both in California, I think
Yeah.
that'd be so much better. Like even if it's the Bay. I think like, yeah, for sure. Because
How has
most
that
of our
been
shows,
since you guys are separate?
yeah, it's honestly like it's pretty hard. I think like the actual music creation process isn't as bad. Like technically you can like all you need is like a laptop, a mic, and like like interface, and you can go from there. But I think like one of the reasons why I still make music now, even though, you know, like I'm at a school where like a lot of people are telling you to like do differently, and like, you know, kind of you want to get like a high paying job. It's like probably like the worst thing. Like music probably, and any creative art probably is like the worst ROI ever, which is why you can't think of it in like an ROI perspective. Like you really need to love it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that makes me love it is like doing it with like my best friend, like having fun with him. And
Yeah.
just, like, so I think that's the hardest part is like when I'm doing it alone,
Yeah.
it's not as fun as when you're doing it with someone. I think there's other like pragmatic things that you lose. Like you can't be like, yo, like how's that take? Or like, should I re-record it? Or like we can write together on the fly. It's definitely like easier now than like before. Like we can like, you know, hop on like a shared FaceTime and like
Yeah.
stuff like that. But I think in general it's hard. Also like marketing assets are really hard. Like photo shoots, video shoots. It's like I'm also on a quarter system, so our breaks don't always align.
Yeah.
So like we basically get like 1 or 2 times a year where we're together, which is why I also think like I'm not putting a ton of pressure on the music to take off while we're in college.
Yeah.
Because it's just like logistically really, really difficult.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Let's circle back to that because
Yeah.
there's a lot of questions there about all that stuff, right?
sure.
And it's in our doc that we prepared.
I
But
think you look sick with these glasses.
Yeah.
is it my
It's your
turn?
turn.
It's my turn.
The sisterhood of traveling sunglasses.
All right. No one's ever getting this back again. But
Brian looks pimp.
pimp 42-year-old dad. Anyways, you're not done with your origin story, right? Because you're about to get to this moment when you had your main hit, right? And then I rudely interrupted you. But yeah, you're going up to this point now, right? Like
Yeah.
where you just started making music, and then crossed my mind. How does that happen?
Who's
Yeah.
that about? I read those lyrics.
Yeah, that song is about my ex-girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
Shout out to her.
does she
If
know
you're
who
watching-
she is?
She does know who she is.
There's no one watching this except her.
Yeah.
What's her IG handle?
Shout it out. Shout it out.
No, she knows that those lyrics are about her. Actually, we weren't even technically dating at the time.
Wow.
But it was like one of those things where it's like you're basically in a relationship, but you're not.
Hey, what's the story up to that? Like, because
Yeah.
that's pretty important, right?
Wait, about the song, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to
No,
make sure.
the relationship with her.
Yeah, we'll get to that
No,
too.
no,
We'll
no.
circle back to that too. But
Yeah, so we were obviously on TikTok a lot because it was like COVID. We didn't really have anything to do, and then we came across this like girl's page. Her name's Irene Wong. She actually she has a single coming out, and she got signed to Unbound. So congrats to her.
She's still in Chicago? Or
No.
she's-
She's from Alabama.
Oh.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Irene Wong?
Imagine a
Yeah, I
Chinese,
was like, huh?
a Chinese content creator from Alabama.
All right,
Holy
we
cow.
need to
Probably
get
like one of her in all of
Yeah.
Alabama.
Yeah.
we need to get on the pod.
No, Irene's great.
cool.
But like, I think we came across like some of her singing videos. You're like, yo, like this is gas. So we're like, okay, like, just cold DM'd her, like, hey, do you want to work on a song or whatever? Obviously, like, I mean, like, it was like more than that. Like, we were just like saying, like, what's
You
up?
wanna like date her too? So that you're hollering.
No, dude, she's
Okay.
like 4 years younger than me. But yeah, but she had like a really, really nice voice, like very like soft and kind of like angelic, like really poppy. And so we were like, yo, we should work on a song together. And she was like, I'm down, which was surprising because at the time, like, we had like absolutely zero following, and like she didn't have a music following, but she definitely had a social media following. So I guess like shout out to her for not being like super like you know, like uptight about
Yeah,
who she
Wait,
was.
sorry. And so she had a social media following, but you've discovered her through her music that
Because
she
she was posting like covers.
Okay. Gotcha. Right.
Yeah. But she didn't really like make music. She was like, oh, we should make a song together. And so we kind of like worked on it. Like, I think we had a group chat called like 44 Falling, like the opposite of like 88 Rising. Because we were like up and coming. It was me, TJ. TJ's the other guy in Soulfly, and then our producer, Adam. And he just sent this like tiny loop. It was like, I think it was like a really small guitar loop. It was like on Snapchat. And teacher's like, yo, send me that. I'm like, okay, like, what is he gonna do with this? He comes back like 2 hours later with like a whole like hook melody, and it was actually like really good. The lyrics were just horrible. So we changed it, but it was like so cornball. Like that song is cornball.
It
enough,
is
but,
still
like,
very cornball.
but like the original lyrics were like
What do you really think?
crazy cornball.
Okay, let me tell you, I didn't know that you guys were still using the word shoddy.
We use that in like every single song.
I was like, dude, I thought that was so 2010.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know that was still a thing now.
Maybe it's just a thing for Soulfly, but Shoddy doesn't make it into at least every song.
I'm here for
Bringing
it.
it back.
I love shoddies.
Yeah. As an old man, I'm into that too.
Right.
I understand the language you speak.
If I hit my vape on camera, can you edit that?
That's saying it. All right, so I haven't had to school me on my fidgeting. So we're back after taking a little break. I was the only professional here. This is all our first time. It's a pilot episode for sure. I'm gonna keep saying that. But where were we at? So like you hit up Irene,
Oh yeah.
and we're about to get to a pivotal moment in your quote unquote music career.
Yeah.
Drop back in.
So yeah, I was saying like producer sent like a really like tiny loop to like our group chat called 44 Falling, because like the opposite 88 Rising, because we had like no following at the time.
Genius.
Yeah, it was pretty clever.
Shout out 88 Rising.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yo, like, no, he was like, yo, send me that. And I was like, okay, I don't know what he's gonna do with this. He comes back with like a really like big hook. Oh, I think we went over this part already, but it's like super cornball lyrics. The song is still cornball lyrics, but if you guys heard the first one, it would just be really embarrassing.
Release it.
So, anyways, the lyrics are less cornball now, but and then we just like put it together, and we went through like a few different versions. Like we got Irene on it. We just dropped it. Like we teased it a little bit, right? Like we made like a few TikToks, and it just kind of like organically grew. I think like the first sign was like when people started making videos about it. Like this one dude did like a crazy dance. We had like one of our friends make like actual like marketing assets, like videos and like visuals or like visualizers. But I
So
think
sorry, the song was already recorded and then you chopped it up and teased it out.
No, yeah, it was already recorded. Yeah. We
Okay.
recorded I think like 6 weeks before we dropped it. So
Gotcha.
we uploaded it on DistroKid, and then from there it was like promo time. But like it wasn't like we weren't going super hard. It was just like a few TikToks here and there, teasing it on Instagram. Irene was teasing it to like her page. Got like a decent amount of pre-saves. Nothing crazy. I think it was like 200 or something, or like maybe 200 to 300. But it was like more than we'd ever gotten before.
Yeah.
It's more than she had gotten before.
Yeah, it was her first song too.
Okay, nice.
And yeah, and so we dropped it. I think it did 10K week one, which like at the time for us was like pretty good.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of slowly started catching the algorithm. Like we were pushing it out, putting it in like a lot of it was like just like organic stuff. Like, you know, people were making videos about it. People were sharing it like to their friends on like socials, etc.
Yeah.
Like honestly, I think something that might have helped was like people were making like YouTube lyric videos of the song, and those started getting a lot of views.
Who are these people, by the way?
Just like fans or like
Fans?
random people who like
From
found
where?
the song.
Yeah, who are your biggest
What's
fans?
the demographic here?
Yeah, it was a lot of it is like the smaller. I can look it up right now actually, but I think it's mostly like, you know, the smaller Asian countries.
Oh,
Okay.
the Indonesians
Yeah.
again.
I mean, I think our primary listening base is still like Chicago and the Bay.
Oh, okay.
But I
Okay.
think and that's
Oh,
probably
and the Bay.
yeah.
Okay.
Just California in general.
Oh,
actually.
okay.
Where's Irene's fan base?
That is
Alabama.
Were you getting any plays in Alabama?
no. I
Okay.
don't think Irene interacted with many people in Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay, this is making me log it. I'm not gonna do this.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's fine.
But-
yeah, just make it up.
Yeah. They were from like Dubai and no, but I don't know. But yeah, it was really cool. I think the main thing with that song is like, so we just hit over 1 million streams on that this year, which is like,
Wow.
so the song is like almost 3 years old.
Yeah.
Or like, so it's not like, yo, I'm him, like I made it, but like it was like really cool to see that number.
Yeah, for sure.
I think like it's more than like a lot of other artists get to see, especially with like no paid marketing
Yeah.
or anything like that. and like Irene obviously had a platform, but like she only made like a few videos. So it really was just like I think like people somehow finding the song on their own and really enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I think that was really cool. That's like to this day still also like my favorite verse that I've ever written.
Yeah.
What is it? Spit it.
First
5,
four
6,
bars.
7, 8.
First performance.
I'm not kidding.
What's your favorite bar in that?
Yeah, like,
that
what is your
verse?
favorite-
It's you're making this rapper feel more like a poet.
Ah,
Kind of like
Okay.
cheesy, but like
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it was clever.
So you're
It's also
saying-
like
yeah.
it's also like in the song, like the like beat cuts out a little bit, so like you can just
Yeah.
like really hear that line. I think it's like I don't know, it goes
It's smart.
crazy. It's
I like
All
it.
right. So that's the song that like kind of blows you up. Is to this day your biggest song, right?
yeah. It's not our fastest growing song, but
Yeah.
it is our biggest song, and I think it's like that was like the first song where I was like, oh, like I would show this confidently to like anyone,
Okay.
and I would feel proud of it.
Okay.
And I think that was the difference.
yeah.
Have you done how many shows have you done?
I mean, we've done like house shows both at Stanford and U of I. TJ
Yeah.
goes to U of I. Our first like, paid show, like get a stage crew, production crew, everything was for Junie. Junie's like a K&B artist.
Yeah.
So we opened for his tour. We're part of like this like group of like indie Asian artists called Exposition, and they give us a lot of opportunities, kind of like similar to label services, but not exactly. And that was cool. But I was super stiff for the Junie show. Like it was like really stiff. Like I don't know if anyone has videos of me jumping around. I hope you don't show that. But like the second, like every show after that was like so much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was really cool. Like, and like after the show, like you're signing autographs and stuff, and like
Yeah.
it's like up until that point. I mean, this is still true now. But I was just like a Stanford like CS student, like
Got a lot going for you.
whatever. Like
Yeah.
fair. But like it was just like I was just like a dude.
Yeah.
And I think for like a few hours, I think that's like what's like the coolest part about performing is like for like a short amount of time to like everyone else in the crowd, like it's your job to like entertain them and
Yeah.
give them something that is worth the money they paid for. I mean, they did pay for Junie, not us, to be fair. But it's like
Still,
whatever.
So did anyone sing your song back to you?
Yeah, there was actually a few people that like knew
dope.
our songs. We were signing stuff after. Like,
What
like,
show were the most amount of people singing the songs back to you?
I think it was actually like the show immediately after that at the same
Okay.
venue, also in Chicago,
Okay.
through the same touring company because we had gotten people from Junie to come back.
Gotcha. So people was Chicago the biggest like city that was listening to that song, or
No, it was just I think like I think the Asian music space is like relatively small and everyone
Yeah.
kind of supports each other.
Yeah.
yeah.
So like people probably found like our biggest songs cross my mind and falling through like just kind of like organic channels, whatever.
Yeah.
Or like they saw that we were opening and then they looked up our stuff.
Okay, but the reason why I'm asking though, right, is like this song hits, right? And did you obviously would do a show in Chicago from there and you have an audience there, but like did you notice like the sort of visceral human with your own eyes reaction, people singing back to you in other cities? Have you even tried that? Did you look at Spotify and say, oh look, the biggest city is like in Indonesia. Have you done a show there? Like
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd love to. It's just like listeners are so different than people that would go and pay for a ticket and come to see you in person. But like that's the dream, man. Like Asia tour, even like doing like a show like at like a big venue in SF or like close to Stanford would be amazing. So my friends can come out, my college friends. So that's definitely the dream. But like we've actually only performed in Chicago.
gotcha.
I mean, we've done like Stanford parties, but they were like parties.
yeah.
Like kind of like everyone knows me there because like they just know who I am as a person.
Yeah. How has that balance been? Like both being college students and like kind of focusing on college, but also doing internships at, at companies and startups. Like how has that been and trying to balance music? Do you think you've kind of been putting it on the back burner? Like what's going on with that?
Yeah, I think honestly, like prior to this summer, definitely put it on the back burner. Like my music partner he would be on my ass a lot as well. just because like it's like there's so many distractions at Stanford, and I think a lot of them are like healthy, but it's also a lot of pressure to like you got to get a job in tech, which is like also like why I'm at Beacons right now. Like you got to do this, you got to do that. Like obviously, like there's probably like it's not like the easiest place ever to like get good grades at it and things like that. You have a lot of support and like a lot of smart people around you to help, but like if you're at Stanford, it's because like you care about your education. So like that'll always come first, because like music and the following and just anything digital can go away in a second. So I think like music or school always comes first, and I think after that, like figuring out like the right balance of focusing on like your career and like the traditional opportunities, but also creative work. I think the number one thing is like after Cross My Mind dropped and like we started getting streaming, we started doing shows and all this, like everything became like a very like numbers game to me. And I stopped actually like enjoying the process of like creating, which is something that like I very, very recently like rediscovered. And I think when you don't enjoy something creative, like you just need to take a break from it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I did for most of college. Which I do regret. Like, I think I wish I approached it with a different mindset.
Yeah.
And so now, like, going forward, that's kind of what I'm doing. But one interesting piece of advice that I got as far as just, like, the balancing act, there's this guy, his at is We Out Here Music, but he has, like, really sick producing credits. He went to Hopkins. He had, like, every, like, big bank, on his line. Like, he had super days for all of them. He turned all of that down to go be a producer in LA. And it's not like some like crazy glamorous life he's living, right? Like he told me he still has to like Uber drive on the side to make enough money.
Yeah.
But he like loves doing it. And he basically told me like as you go through like your creative journey, everyone is going to have other responsibilities, but like try to slowly de-risk yourself. So like Cross My Mind hits 1 million streams, okay. Like now I know that like we're not complete absolute like booty cheeks at making music. Like there's someone out there and like a somewhat like reasonably sized group of people that would want to listen to something that I put out. So then maybe like rather than loading up on like 20 units every single quarter and like grinding like CS classes, I can take one less class and like work a little bit more on music.
Yeah.
And then drop again or do a show again or something like that and see like, is it catching? Are you building off of that initial success? And then you can slowly take like bigger gambles. And I think that was like good advice because there's a lot of people that I think like the stories that you hear online, both in like entrepreneurship and music as well, is just like, I just like dropped out, fully sent it, and then like I made it.
Yeah.
But like the reason why you hear about those people is because they made it. Like you don't hear about the people that dropped out and just had nothing. So I think like slowly de-risking yourself is like some advice that I would give to, I need to give it to myself now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how are you going to de-risk it? What's your plan now?
I think, like, since I'm going to graduate, like, my way of de-risking it is, I think, like, we've built a reason, or at least we built, our monthlies are down now because we haven't dropped in a while because we're trying to figure out, like, what kind of music we want to make. But at our peak, like, we had enough for me to confidently say that there is, like, a sizable portion, or, like, there's a reasonable portion of people.
There's a foundation.
There's a foundation.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. And so my way of de-risking it is, like, I'm going to take a job that I can prioritize like work-life balance and the life will basically be music over like maybe something that has like a crazy amount of prestige or like has a fat name or like will pay me more. I feel comfortable doing that at this stage in life. I think with like my education and like who I am and like my work ethic, I think I'll be okay if the music thing doesn't work out, which I'm also like expecting it to not work out.
Yeah.
But
so you want to take a job off from Beacons then?
I would. You guys just don't want to hire me.
So speaking of that, I think like working in this creator space, I think you also started, like a creator startup with your friends, right? From college. And also working with Beacons, which is also part of the creator economy. Like, do you think this has inspired you to create a little more? Or is it a little bit less? Like, how is it been?
No, I think it has for sure. I think like Beacons is a team of like 35 to like 40 people whose job is to make it easier for creatives to make a living. Like, it's a decent amount of people on like full-time salaries and jobs dedicated to making your life better. So I think it's never been easier to be a creator. It's also never been more competitive, but I think it's never been easier. And I think there's never been like more ways to monetize. So I think music's like a little bit different, but still, like, I think it definitely has. And it, like, working at a place like Beacons, where like it's very clear that everyone like really, really cares about creators, wants to see them succeed. I think like that's also like inspiring as like a person that like wants to be a full-time creator and musician. So for sure, yeah, definitely. And I think like this kind of like environment, like a tech startup in the creator economy, would be my ideal job while I'm still doing music. Because it's very rare you get to blend like your hobby and your work kind of all in one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there other people at Stanford who struggle with this? Because like when I went, no one would consider being a musician or creator influencer was not even a thing back then, right?
Yeah.
But you know, there was like there was what's his name, Dan Lee from that K-pop hip hop group.
Oh shoot, my mom told me
Epic
about
High.
this. Yeah,
He was there when I
like,
was there, right? We would have never guessed that he blew up like that, right? But he did his thing or whatever, and there was Jadenia too. He kind of came out from the same era, but like that was like it, right? Like then there was a handful of other people who kind of were doing the creative thing. I imagine, because I see it, right, that like there's more of people from Stanford, from whatever school, where it's like that's part of your influencer career, right? It's just easy to do. There's an audience for that. Are there other people at Stanford that sort of has to think about this, like, am I going to become a creator, or am I going to follow that, like, you know, that path that my, you know, society or parents or whoever tells me to do? And what do your parents think about all this?
I think my parents don't think I'm going to make it, so they don't really care whether I put time into it or not, because they're just assuming that I'm going to go work in like tech or something, which like statistically they're probably right. But you know,
Okay, just for context. For context, I told Jonathon that I'd slap him every time he puts himself down. So
Yeah, he does that.
numbers, man. But yeah, so I think, but my parents are like very supportive in the sense of they want me to have a creative outlet. I just don't think like it hasn't gotten to the point where I've needed to make like a drastic career sacrifice in order to pursue music. And I think that's also part of the reason why we haven't grown as much as like obviously I would love us to. I'm very grateful for like our platform, and it's bigger than I ever thought it would be.
How would your parents react if you dropped out of Stanford right now?
Oh, they would kill me.
Okay,
Yeah, for
all right,
sure.
yeah, makes sense.
I think if I did it for like a year or something, if I took like a year leave, I think they'd be chill.
Yeah.
But there's no way. Like I'm so close to finishing my degree. I don't even think I would do it.
Yeah,
But to answer your question, I think the Stanford creator space is like very lacking. There's definitely a few, but they really just do it as like a side hobby.
okay,
Just because like you're in an area where you can make so much money like very quickly. If you just like study the right thing, network with the right people, and you have access to those people very easily.
yeah,
Because you're like in the heart of Silicon Valley.
yeah.
So there's like a few like really dope artists I know. Like one girl, Isha, like she makes sick music. She is like, I mean, she's like already has like a massive platform. Like she's like almost like 500K monthlies on Spotify.
Nice.
So I think for her, like she's already seen like proof that she can go full time. I think for the aspiring artists, yeah, it's kind of sad. Like I think a lot of them just see it as like a fun side gig. But I also think a lot of people like underrate like how hard it is to like the creation process, and like with digital and everything, like making music is not enough anymore. You need to like you need to split reps between being like a content creator and just being a musician.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to
yeah,
do the content creation if like the main thing you want to do is just record
yeah. So you put
while
out
you're in school.
right. You put out a single recently, right? Lonely.
Like yeah, like February.
Okay. How did you get that? How did you get that into your Stanford schedule? What are all the things that you do that's not music, you know, to put out a release?
Yeah.
Was this you or you and your partner?
Yeah, it was Soulfly.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I just hit the mic, Ivan. So this is part of the thing that I was talking about, like with duos, that's especially hard. We recorded that when I went home for break.
Oh.
So I visited him at UI, we like recorded it, but then we had to get like cover art, Then we had to like come up with like a release strategy. We had to get like the final mix and master, because we got it like produced, but then we needed like the final mix.
Yeah.
Went through like a few different like versions. We were like really trying to hit this one deadline because our distributor needed it by that point for playlist consideration. But like and then the guy that was the engineer was like going to like a rave or something. So you're like, dude, like please, like even if it's like 7 a.m., please like do like this final version. You went through like 4 versions in like 12 hours. I think like the final like file that we uploaded was like lonely like v like 17.wav, and it was just like everything past 10 was done in like one day.
Wow.
So we got it done though, and that was like basically a break thing. So I think like
Okay.
that's like, you know, it'd be nice if I could say, oh yeah, like I weaved it into like my school schedule and stuff, but like
Yeah.
you really do sacrifice a lot when you're in college.
Yeah.
So after school, bringing back to what you were talking about, de-risking, like, would you and TJ ever consider like taking a year off and like not trying to find work? I feel like you guys can find jobs, like, but music and your career, like, why not? It's just like go for full force and try it out for a year and see what happens.
Yeah.
Would you ever think about that, or?
How am I gonna eat? How am I gonna go out and meet people to write songs about?
Yeah.
You know, I think like I don't know, if I had enough money to like comfortably live on my own, then I think we'd do it.
I think there's like,
But we're not really there yet, you know.
you know, I mean, I feel like they say like starving artists for a reason. Like a lot of the people that I know that are also like creatives and artists and trying to make it, like, yeah, their lives aren't cushy because they aren't taking like the big tech name jobs, and like they want to pursue certain things, and like their life isn't going to be easy, but that's like the risk that they're taking right now, right? Like at that moment, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna be eating some Uncrustables for like a whole week, right?
Yeah.
Like, but that to them is worth it. Like you're saying, you don't think that's gonna be what you guys want to end up doing?
I think I would be okay with Uncrustable, but like I just don't know if I can have like no plan or like no like backup plan.
Yeah.
I think I would need a solid backup plan. Like
Yeah.
if I had like a, you know, actually I don't know. Maybe I will just do this, Kat. You're right.
Sold. Just kidding. We're done with this podcast. Just kidding.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like I don't know if I was like a bartender or something.
I can make that happen.
I would be down to try.
You can follow the cat path.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what right now, if I had to ask you, what do you think you're gonna be doing in June?
Well, it's really hard to get a job in tech right now, so probably going back to school, or maybe I'll go visit Korea for once and, you know, hang out with some fobs. But it doesn't make any sense.
What are you
'cause they're not
going for in
US.
June? What are you going for in June?
Huh?
What situation are you going for in June? Are you applying to certain kinds of jobs?
No, if I don't
gonna
have
be
a
a
job by June,
bartender?
I'm going back to school.
What does that mean, going back to school for
Like,
masters?
I'll just take a master's. Yeah.
Okay, so you would do a master's over pursuing a music thing.
Aren't you spending money at that point? Aren't you
Yeah.
paying to go to school?
That's a good point.
Like, why would you pay
Well,
when you're like, I don't have money to make music?
What would you go for master's for?
computer
Yes.
science.
Okay, why? Just curious.
Trash.
So I can become more employable, man. No, I don't know. I think I'm going to have. My goal is to have a full-time job lined up for like next year.
That's
Real-
your option number 1A.
That's option 1A.
Okay, but what does that job look like? Because like you said, did you want to
Beacons
de-risk? Okay. Well, okay. So if you're, let's just say that happens, right? Let's
Yeah.
say.
Can you guys raise the B, please?
Exactly.
We're trying.
Let's say that happens. At that point, is that like kind of like a, quitting on your music career?
I don't think so. I think I would have more time to work on music when I'm not in school. Or
Okay.
maybe not like exactly that, but like I just think me and like my and TJ need to be in the same place, which is really hard to do when we're in college.
Yeah.
But like I think like I don't give myself till the end of the year to like do full-time music, I do give myself till the end of the year to see some growth.
Yeah.
Some growth. And if that doesn't happen, then I'd be pretty disappointed.
Okay, so to the end of this year?
Or sorry, I'm still speaking like
School year.
calendar.
Yeah.
So like June. Yeah.
How many songs you got lined up?
That's a great question. So we have like two that like one that's like basically done. We just need to like get the final mix and master, and we need art. I'm shooting for that next week. And one where there's like this one measure that I just can't get. I can't nail it perfectly. It's really pissing me off. And I was working on it yesterday for like 2 hours. It's literally 4 lines. It's like one of the most frustrating things because it's like
Lyrics or
no, like
instrumental?
just like tempo and like sauce, you know. Like it just needs some more like it just needs something else in there.
Yeah.
And I can't really find it.
Yeah.
So, and then we have one that I just need to finish like writing like one more measure for, and then we have like 3.
Gotcha.
Oh, actually, we have one that's already done, but we can't drop it yet because it's like very explicit. And the other guy's still like, you know, his mom still listens to our music, so he needs to like warm her up to the idea of like a song with like a million F-bombs and like talking about stuff that I'm not going to talk about on this podcast.
Do your parents listen to your music?
Yeah, but like I've just kind of told him like, listen, man, like I got dreams. I'm a big artist. I perform for Junie. So no,
They're like,
but-
who?
yeah. I think they're. I don't
Just
know.
just release it and then also release a Kids Bop version.
Exactly. And just send them.
And then send the mom the Kids Bop version.
Yeah, send the Christian version. How do you feel about this wave that you're riding of Asian American musicians?
It's cool, actually. Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
cool. I don't know if I was like just exposed to that because like we started like networking a lot more, or if it's actually like something that's been coming up like the last like few years. But like I remember I checked Instagram today, and a few of my friends do distribution through Two Lost, and like the cover of like the Two Lost post was like this Asian dude like. You swipe and like a lot of people this is like a post for people that made it on New Music Friday on Spotify, which is like huge.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of like not just like Asian, like not, you know, obviously everyone knows like the power of like the K-pop labels, but like Asian American people, like people that grew up in like normal cities, like like me, etc. Like just like and like they're like on like the biggest playlist in the world. It's really really cool.
Yeah.
So I think it's sick, and I think like they're always down to work together, which is dope as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the community, like Asian American community in general, like everything, like the creator space, like the musicians, I think once you meet everyone, you kind of meet everyone, you know,
Yeah.
and like everyone supports everyone. And I think that's incredible. Do you think like that's going to essentially like wait for you? Like, do you think right now is not the opportune time to be like, you know what, I'm done with school. I got to get into this group because this is like prime time essentially.
Yeah.
Do you think this wave will like exit by the time you figure out like, oh, you know what, I'm just gonna wait it out while I de-risk my life, like type of you know?
No, it's a good question. I think I'm gonna take it as like seriously as I enjoy it, which like sounds like a very like cop out kind of like answer, but as I said before, like there's probably nothing with a worse ROI in this world than like something that's creative, especially music.
Yeah.
I think like 1 million streams on Spotify, if you have a distributor that takes like, I forget exactly how streaming is so complicated, but like basically for me, like 1 million streams is around like 4.5K, maybe like close to 5K. You know how hard it is to get 1 million streams as an independent artist,
no, I
dude? Like
feel
it's
you.
like to get that consistently. And so it's like I think I'm like I used to think that way a lot.
Yeah.
Like you look at your friends, like we have like one guy, or like we have just like a lot of music friends at this point who are like doing really really well. Like honestly, like probably running laps around us. But I think the biggest thing for TJ and I is like we just really really need to love the process of like waking up, recording, creating, promoting it,
Right.
and like doing that. And if
Everything else take care of itself.
yeah.
macro-wise.
Like I'm not gonna expect like attach expectations. I used to think a lot like if I'm not like signed or like close to like, you know, 500K monthlies by 25,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drop music. I don't really think that way anymore. I think I'm just gonna do music when I like it, like with like a purpose as well.
Of course,
like,
of course.
and with like intention. Like if I see that things are going really well and I'm enjoying it, then it'd be stupid not to put some work in.
Yeah.
Because you're not always gonna like love it every single time.
Yeah.
And I think also being intentional about like practicing. But yeah, I think the line of thinking of like, oh, like now is the time, like grind. I think there's definitely a lot of merit to that. But at least for me, like if I don't really enjoy it, it's just gonna be like miserable.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Let me ask you, Kat. Do you think it's like a long-term trend or a short-term trend?
I mean, I think that like with Asian Americans, I think it's only growing. I feel like a lot of the people that I talked to are like, "This is only the beginning," you know. But at that,
Wait, who said that?
Friends.
Okay.
Yeah, but with that being said, though, like I feel like it's one of those where, like being in Chicago, you were like one of the only Asians there. Which yes, it might have been difficult, but you were also like one of the only Asians there, right? So it's like okay, cool, yeah. And so like now it's like there's already saturation of like a lot of Asian American artists that are like mainstream, which is amazing, right? Like in our minds, like even movies, right? Like Joy Rides Out and like Crazy Rich Asians and Everything Everywhere All at Once, like all of that stuff. It's like really cool, but it's like it will only get more saturated from here. You know what I mean? Like even though like we made it feeling. Like I think it'll just only get more saturated because there's more opportunity for people, which is great. It's like one of those, right? Like there's more opportunity, but then there's more competition. Like it's one of those give or take things. So I mean, I don't know. Like I think it'll only grow from here, but I also think it'll be harder for you to get in because there's so much competition. You know, like after. That's true. You know what I mean?
Competition amongst Asian Americans?
Yeah,
okay. But take individuals out. You do feel like the grand pool of the viability of Asian American entertainment, even if there's more people doing it, is gonna grow.
I think so. Like just like how
pie.
Crazy K-pop blew up, like in America, is insane. Like I think it's incredible. Like it's insane, and like that gave more opportunities to a lot of Asian American dancers, like that I know of, or like choreographers or directors and stuff, like opportunities because Asian Americans support Asian Americans, right? And so I think like that's cool. That's a really cool concept. Like everyone is like supporting each other. But like I said, like once it like expands, there's going to be more competition. Like there will be more dancers now. There's gonna speaking of like dancing, because that's like my background, like man, if we had the opportunities that there are now back then, dude, like
you'd be
game over.
Blackpink.
You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. Like even when I was like riding the dance wave, like and seeing these young people like Sean Liu, right? Like I knew him when he was at our dance studio and he was a baby. Like and it's because his sister danced, right? Like and he like now he's incredible. Like he is one of the biggest. He's like a Red Bull like competition. Like oh my gosh, like he just blew up, and he's like one of the best choreographers, dancers out there. And like he's so young, you know. And so like just thinking about all the opportunities because he was able to have like dance studios and like teachers from around the world flown in. Like man, when I started dancing, we would dance in the parking structures, parking lots, like. Our shoes got beat up. Like we were dancing, like a bad knees, like health. Like now health is such a thing. Like dance is a sport now, right? Like, dude, it was not like that back then, you know? So I feel like there's definitely a lot more opportunity out there and like it's really cool.
Is Sean Liu's parents, do you know if they're immigrants or not? Or are they?
I believe so. Don't quote me on that. Don't put that on the podcast. I don't really know. I'm not sure.
Do you guys know Asian American entertainers who have parents who were born in America?
You guys both know one. Oh wait, never mind. My mom was born in Korea.
Because I'm just thinking like,
curious.
What? I got kids, right? I'm old. Everyone knows that. Like, how am I gonna feel about all this, right? Obviously, for my parents, like, obviously, you're not gonna do arts, right? That's just not a thing. But that's the option for you. But I don't know how I would feel about it, right? But I can't tell if my generation, right, or any of us, when we have kids. And they see all this entertainment around them, that it's viable. If your kid wants to dance, you'd be like, oh
hell yeah, baby.
Okay. All right.
You do that.
Yeah.
My other kid's gonna play sports.
Yeah.
That's
great. And they're both gonna starve?
Yeah,
it goes in cycles, right? All right. Well, we got the shot clock like warning right now. So, do we have anything else, Kat, that we need to
I have
get
rapid
to?
fire questions. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. Dream artist collab.
Shit, J Park,
Wow. Dream venue to play at.
the Midway. Wait, that's such
Really?
crap.
The
Just-
Midway?
No, just because I would go to Stanford. No, my actual answer is probably the Brooklyn Mirage.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Favorite K-pop group at the moment?
And hyphen.
Wow. And do you know your horoscope sign?
Is that like based on like your astrology sign?
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo.
Yeah, it's his birthday 2 days ago.
I don't know what that means, but
We don't
hopefully
either.
Virgos are really, really cool people who excel in creative industries.
Beyonce is a Virgo. You got that going for you.
Me and Beyonce should be friends.
You guys should be best
Shout out
friends.
to
Yeah,
Beyonce,
yeah,
Queen Bee. Jay Lee over here.
If you won the lottery and you could live a comfortable life for the rest of your life based on money, what would you do with your time?
Make music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I'd fund my own tours and just pack them with people that I paid to be there.
Baby.
Yo, thank you so much for coming. But yeah, music. For
Here's
sure.
$20.
All right. Cool.
And I think the fact that I can say that with no hesitation is like a good sign. That
Yeah,
like, I'm
that's
passionate
music
about
is
it.
what you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when we both can tell like music is what you want to do, and I think we both agree that you
Yeah.
should. Not to say
Hopefully,
that you should
yeah.
go be starving on the streets. I'll go and feed you an Uncrustable every day. Just kidding.
Yeah.
But I think you should. I think you'd be.
You're
Great.
only young once, and you
I'm
have.
old, man. I'm 23.
Oh
I
my
just turned
gosh.
23.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. You know, he's just making fun of
Wow.
us.
The
Yeah.
disrespect.
The disrespect. Yeah. But like for a 23-year-old who has like what other artists can you say as de-risked as you are, except someone who's has rich parents, right? You got that
Yeah.
degree.
That's fair.
All right, and not to encourage like higher education or whatever, but is there a certain point where if you're already CS, undergrad, Stanford, right? Like, is there a point of diminishing returns with the education? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah. I think the master's is honestly just like, if I were to do it, it's just so like I can like still be in school and
Yeah.
like, apply for like new grad roles.
why? What does that even mean?
I don't know actually.
Does it make money or something? Or
No. Like
Oh.
it's like I don't know. I just think college is fun. You know, I don't want to leave college.
oh, okay, that's a college thing.
I just wanted that on video.
Yeah.
That would've been funny.
Yeah.
Okay, well, when's your next single dropping?
That's a great question. I wondered the same thing.
We're gonna make a collab right
We need
after
to
this.
shoot art. We need to get the final mix. I need to record like 2 more parts.
Is it about love?
Does it have the word shoddy in it? That's all I care about.
I actually think, yeah. The next song is probably gonna be this like pop punk song called "Selfish."
Pop punk?
Selfish.
That's my specialty.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, my boy Sam did. He's in my frat actually at school, but he did
Yeah.
he did like live drums, and it's sick.
Okay, so it's a little bit of a change in sound.
Yeah. It's like Korean MGK.
Wow. Are you still using the word shoddy in there? Wow.
I think so. I don't actually know.
You gotta get it in there.
It's like pop melodies over like a rock beat, basically.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think this was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
This was really fun.
Super
Thanks
pilot.
for joining us.
Of course.
Yeah.
Thanks
And
for
hanging
inviting
out.
me.
Thanks
You're
for
gonna be
watching. Myself later on.
I hope you guys
Be watching.
enjoyed.
Soulfly, check them out.
View, like, share, and subscribe to Beacons, so I can come back and work here.